Okay, so in today's math lesson, what we're doing here is we're dividing using fractions. We're comparing fractions and interpreting them as division problems and vice versa. In our in our chart here, the first one's done for us, and what you see here is a whole mess of, well, equivalent equations, algorithms, fractions, unit form, division expressions, all kinds of fun stuff. Letter A is done for you. We're looking at 4 divided by 3. And thirds here, they're saying that 4 divided by 3 is actually 12 thirds divided by 3. Where are they getting that from? Well, they're taking 4 whole. Here it is. And I'm dividing that into 3 groups. The only way for me to do that is to take each of these and I split them into fourths. I need to split them into thirds so that I can evenly distribute each of these whole numbers into my 3 groups, which means each of these 3 groups is going to receive 1/3 from each of those 4 wholes, which means each of these guys is going to receive 4/3 total. Okay? Meaning 1, 2, 3, 4 will go right there. A third, a third, a third, a third from those guys will go there. And the last third from each of these will go right there. For a grand total of 12 thirds. Okay? I split each of these 4 into thirds, which gives me a total of 12 thirds. So that's where the 12 thirds comes from. I divide that by 3, I get 4 thirds, which gives me 4 thirds. That's a fraction, which gives me 1 and 1/3. Now, where that is coming from is the fact that if I had 4 thirds, that means I have 3 thirds plus another third, because that would give me 4 thirds. So since 3 thirds is 1 whole, plus my 1/3, that gives me 1 and 1/3. So that's where that comes from. Now for my algorithm, I need to take 4 and divide it by 3. 3 goes into 4 once. I subtract, I get 1 left. And 1/3 is my remainder. Now, why is it 1/3? Well, since I have 1 left, that's 1 whole. I'm splitting that into 3 groups. Okay, how am I supposed to do that? Well, I have to split this into thirds then, so that each third can fit into my group. There's my third, because I had to split the 1 whole into thirds. So that's what's left. For each of those groups, they get 1/3 as their remainder, okay, to finish them off. Now, for the check, I need to take my divisor and my quotient, and I multiply them. So I need 3 sets of 1 and 1/3. Or, again, 3 sets of 1 and 1/3. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives me 3. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 gives me 3 thirds. 3 thirds equals 1 whole. 3 comes down. 3 plus 1 gives me 4. And that checks out pretty well because they match. Okay. Let me erase what's here, and let's do a fresh one. So let's take a look at part B. Part B starts off with 1 and 2/5. Now, what I can do here is go right to the improper fraction from here, because if I have 1 and 2/5, that means I have 5/5. There's my 1 whole, plus my 2/5, and together that'll give me 7/5. So there's my 7/5, which is 7 divided by 5. Okay, oops, 7 divided by 5. Now, how many fifths is that total? Well, if I took my 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I split them into fifths, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so a fifth. All right, I split them into fifths. That would give me a total of 35 fifths. All right, now why do I split them into fifths? Because I need to split them into 5 groups. And the best way for me to split them into 5 groups is to split each of my wholes into fifths. So each slice goes into, or each part goes into each of the wholes, each of the parts that I'm splitting into. Okay, so that's a total of 35 fifths. Okay, divided by 5, which gives me 7/5, because each of these guys is going to receive 7 of those fifths, right? 1/5 from each of those 1 whole. Okay, all right, and that's how it's going to work. Now, for my algorithm, I'm going to take 7, I'm going to divide it by 5. 5 goes into 7 once. For 5, I have 2 left. This is going to be 2/5 because this is 2 whole, and I need to split them into 5 parts. Okay, the best way for me to do that is to split my 1 wholes into 5 parts. Okay, which means I'm going to have 10 total, 10 fifths there. And if I have 5 parts I'm splitting into, each of them is going to get 2/5. That gives me my total of 10 fifths. Okay, therefore that's my answer. Now for my check, I'll run my check down here. Now for my check. I'm going to take 5, and I'm saying that I have 1 2/5 as my answer. Okay, there's my quotient. So I need 5 1 2/5. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, and there's 5. And if I add up all my whole numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, I get 5. If I add up all my fractions, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that gives me 10/5. Okay, and 10/5 is equals to 2 whole. 5 plus 2 gives me 7. And that checks out pretty well. There it is. Check. That matches, and we are good to go. Okay, so that's how we run it all. All right, folks. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.